Okay, let's finish up one last problem. After you work through this one, then you should be submitting your work. Okay, here's another situation that we might encounter. What if we try to do direct substitution? So we notice that this is a rational function, right? It's got some square roots, so it's not a polynomial on the top. But what if we just try to substitute in h equals 0? When I do that, I end up with a 0 over 0, that indeterminate form. That means that there could still be a limit, but we have to do some more work to figure it out. Okay, so do you remember this algebraic technique of multiplying by basically rationalizing, to get rid of the square root? The idea with this is if we can try to somehow introduce something where we can get rid of the h that's going to the 0 in the denominator. All right. So what you do if you have square roots is we've got a square root minus something else. It could be another square root. In this case, it's a constant. You can actually do just, we're going to multiply by what's called the conjugate. So we'll just change that minus to a plus. We're going to multiply on the top and the bottom by the same thing. So that's really just multiplying by 1. All right. Once you do that, then you're going to FOIL it out, right? So you have to multiply. I know you might think this is strange. Well, we're introducing a square root in the denominator, but that's okay because you're going to see what happens with the h. That's the part that's going to 0 that we have to get rid of. So do not, my suggestion is, don't distribute this h in the denominator. Just leave it out because we want it to cancel with something. But then in the numerator, what you should notice is when I multiply the first two terms here, that gets rid of the square root, so it's just 16 plus h. Now, if I were to do the outside terms, right, and then the middle terms, because of the plus and minus, they're going to each cancel out. So when there's a plus and a minus, we just have to do the first and the last terms, so then that would be minus 16. Notice what happens here. The 16s cancel, which is what we want, right? Let me just write one more step, even though you probably see what's happening. All right, great. Now what we've seen is if you did it, if we did it right, if we chose the right thing to multiply by and everything, you should see that these h's, that part that was going to 0 in the denominator, it cancels with something in the numerator. So that's how it's kind of an indication that, yep, we're doing things on the right track. When we do that, though, we have a 1 in the numerator, and we're still left with this square root, but that's okay. We don't have to do anything with that. Now, let's try our direct substitution. So now we're going to let h be equal to 0. Because we got the part where h is going to 0 in the denominator to go away. So what we end up with then, it's what? Square root of 16 plus 0, which is 16, plus 4. That plus makes all the difference here. And when I simplify it then, it's just 1 over the square root of 16 plus 4, which is just 1 over 4 plus 4. And actually, what I should do just in this case, once I substitute in, I'm going to erase it. We don't need to have those limit statements anymore, right? So just to be mathematically correct with notation, this would be then 1 over 16. All right, sorry, 1 over 8. Mental math, yes, mental math, 1 over 8. Anyway, that turns out to be our answer. So if we move up in what appeared to be, oh, this is an indeterminate form, we know that doesn't mean the answer is 0 or undefined. It means we're just not sure. We can't determine it with what we have done so far. And then it turns out the answer actually is 1/8. All right, that's it. So you basically have those 4 pages, 24, 25, 26, and 27 to turn in. And hopefully with my guidance, you could just maybe jot down any questions you have, and then we'll go over those on Monday. All right, so kind of read ahead, start working on the homework. I've posted the other homework in my lab that's due, and extended the due date till Tuesday for the homework that's due Monday so that you can get your questions answered either in class or in lab. Okay, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and it looks like it'll be warming up, and February's here, so that means spring is that much closer. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.